All right, we are recording Sunday night. It is week 2 of our first round of our 16 character tournament. So we did that a few weeks ago. Ran all 16 characters in groups of 4. Took the top 2 from each of those 4 games, moved them into a single, a second round of 8, which we then played the 2 games, and then took the top 2 from those 2 games, got the last 4, and that guy was the winner. It was the Druid, by the way. One of my least favorite characters, which I've said 1,000 times. But this is the second one. I thought that was a fun thing, so I was just decided I'll do it again. Gives me a good reason to play a bunch of Magic Realm game. Our first game here is the White Knight, Black Knight, Witch King, and Dwarf. You can see here our first week scores 3-3 to 1-1. And so let's see where everybody's at. White Knight is first. You can see him up here. He's sort of stuck trying to find the Horde. I would love to find the Horde. Excuse me. Grab a treasure or two, but you can see we have been at this for 3 days. We're going to stick with it again a little. Just maybe one more. Maybe 2 more. Who knows? I always say that and I end up being here 3 more days. But it's a little bum because he is sort of stuck here. What he needs to do is get down here to the vault. Or the Lost City. And it looks like the Lost City might be here. So, interesting. So we'll see what's what. The Black Knight has had, frankly, a really bad set of card draws in terms of his quests. So you'll see right now he has Sudden Insight, Take Cover. Those are boons. So they don't have quests. You can't score points off them. One allows him to hide instantly, and one allows him to find a site without a roll. You'll have to excuse my drinking here. I'm trying to soothe my throat, which was a little rough. But he did draw Gambler. So that is what he's going to do. He's going to spend a phase here to gamble and see, at least score the victory point. The Witch King here, I think, lucked out on the event draw on the week 2, which included Lost Shaman. So he could just grab the Shaman, come back here, and score. So I think he's going to try to do that. And we do need to make sure that he's recorded, Borderlands. All he needs is 5. If he can get to Borderlands 5, he will then also score a point for Explore the Borderlands, which, as I said last week, I'm experimenting with all the Explorers being the option to take 2 points instead of 1 point and the gold and whatever other thing you get. Simply because, in my experience, those quests really tie people down for many days. You can even see the Witch King here. He has effectively spent 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days here just trying to complete this this card. So, but I think we might run up, grab this guy. So run up and out, and then 1, 2, 3. All we got to do is drop him off anywhere at a dwelling, and he'll be good. So I think that's his super short-term plan. And then you got the Dwarf, and the Dwarf has the issue right now is the first thing that he found in the vault. So he opened the vault, which, by the way, I needed to fatigue a T, and I didn't do that. So let me do that. I will fatigue a T. And with the Dwarf, I don't worry about fatiguing his move T as much, his moves as much as I do say the White Knight, because this Duck Chit is the one you're going to play almost all the time. So, but he did get Serpents on him. Now, these Serpents suck for him as a fight. but he found the toadstool circle, and I tell you what, I would love. He only rolls a 1d6 to search, and that includes loots. So a 1 or a 2, pretty good. Even a 3 would be okay. 5 and 6 would suck. I'm not a super fan. It's a little bit of a risk, and so that's sort of the question I'm playing in my head is, do we go for something stupid like that? Do you go for like a big goofy play? Magic Realm is usually the game where that's the antithesis of that. You go for, you know, the safest play possible because you're trying to get through the 28 days without dying. And then as you get more experienced, when you can push it a little bit and so on. This is a super high risk play. If he fails a hide, he gets gang tackled by serpents. If he rolls a 5 or a 6 on his, so there's a lot of a lot of clunky to that play. If he gets cursed, for instance, the order is way up here through this little mess, so that's not good. Yeah, he could totally be hosed. So maybe that's not the play for him. But man, that devil sword! Oh, this thing! It's as good as it's better than his axe on the crap side, and on the alerted side, it is, better than the Morning Star. One of the best weapons, actually. Um, in the game, I think the Bane sword has it beat, but you have to be tremendous to you have to have a tremendous chit, which we do. So anyway, so be it. Here we are. Let's figure out what everybody's doing here. So the White Knight, we figured, is going to search just as before. The Black Knight, he is going to end a phase here, so he's going to hide, and he's going to gamble with the rogues. So that'll do that. And I do think that we want to still. Do we still want to try to hire, or do we just want to get out of Dodge? I wouldn't mind refilling his bank of guys, but I don't see anything in the near term that he's going after. What's he going after? I mean, he needs to sort of. He's sort of been stuck with pretty crap cards. So I think so. He hides and he gambles. Oops. Hides, gamble. By ending a phase there, of course. He did trade here. What did he see? Good book and the gripping dust, right? I don't think. We don't care that much. We tried to hire yesterday and failed terribly. So let's try one last time, and then we'll just get out of Dodge. We'll see what our card is, and we'll bold out then tomorrow on day 9. For the Witch King, so the Witch King he is mostly good. He still has a fly chit. So I think his plan is to run and run out. So he's going to move to Borderlands 3 with the intent of, move to the Shaman, then move to Borderlands 3, and that's it. He's going to grab the Shaman to try to get the Lost Shaman. He just has to bring him back to civilization. The Dwarf, well, I think we will hide and search and search. And we'll see how this goes. Maybe it sucks. If he screws up the hide, then he's going to fight these serpents, which it's not an ideal fight for him. So be it. Okay, so we have our day 8s written and ready to roll. Let's get a monster roll up in here. 4. So we got trolls. Well, that's good. Nothing else is going to come. We have everything that we're going to get. We already have intact. So shuffle. Let's draw. We get the Witch King first, and the Witch King grabs the shaman and then moves out. And I don't think anything appears because I think all the trolls are out. Everything is dead or on the board. I think a lot of it's dead. I think we've killed trolls. We have exterminated trolls. It's like a scroll of genocide in Napa. we have kicked the crap out of the trolls. White Knight. Well, the knight is going to hide. He does, so he's hidden. He's going to search 3 times. This is where he's sort of failed over and over. That's 1. Come on, this is 2. 2. Oh my god. 3. Oh, there's a 4, and that is the horde right there. So the White Knight has popped the horde finally. And I don't think anything's going to appear because we've killed all the giants here. And that's it for him. The Black Knight is going to hide. 2 dice to hide for the Black Knight. He does. He turns in his gamble. So that's a good question. How does he want to do this? Let's say $5. So he's going to gamble $5. So we'll say -5 right now. He rolls 2 dice and consults the little chart I have in front of me, and he loses it. Wah, wah. Okay, there you go. Done. But in any case, he gets a VP because he gambled with the rogues. So the rogues are like, hey, buddy, good job. Now he's going to do his higher phases with the neutral rogues. So 1 higher phase, price times 4. I'm going to say sure because there you go. So we're going to bob down to $1. We're going to take Rogue 5. Rogue 6 we've already killed, by the way. And the last 2 higher phases are nothing, and no one shows up, and the Black Knight is done. And we do need to mark it. So this guy, add 14 to this, 22, Rogue 5, done. So we only have a week to have Rogue 7. The dwarf is hiding. 1 die for the dwarf. We're hoping to get, and we do. We're hit. So now we're going to search twice. So we have to choose the toadstool circle or the vault. There's 4 treasures in the vault. There is that sparkling temptation of a sword. Ugh. Well, let's go for the vault first. So 6 is a nothing. We would have gotten cursed on the toadstool circle, so great. We'll go for the vault again then. 1, we'd have gotten the goddamn devil's sword. Well, that's cool. But instead, we're going to get the Girdle of Energy, which I barely care about. I mean, you know, could be useful at times. It's not really active till tomorrow, but we'll put it in that slot. Nothing else appears. And I think we're done. The Black does get a card, and it is the gift exchange. Give a treasure to a group you are friends or allies with. So, okay. He's allied with the company. Well, friends with the company of soldiers. So we need to get a treasure. And where the heck are the soldiers? Way up there. That is If you could do the Borderlands run. Right, you can go up here, yeah, into 5, and then up through, and you would get there. So, I mean, he could buy a treasure. Well, oh, he's down to $1. So no, he needs to find a damn treasure. Okay. I mean, that gives him direction, right? So the White Knight's easy. Oops, come on. There we go. The White Knight's easy. Hide, search, 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 and done. So he's going to loot the Horde. You're here, you got to loot the damn thing, right? The Black Knight is going to take his folks here, and we got to find a treasure site. Is what we got to find. So, what is a good treasure site for the knight? We're pretty sure the Lost City could be here. The Lost City could be up here. We do have the ledges. That's like, this is very remote for the Black Knight. Maybe we're just hoping to hit the mountains, right? Maybe the mountains have a site in them. So let's head. I don't love it, but let's head up that way at least. Otherwise, you're counting on these 2 tiles. Man, that is remote. This is not a great board. This is a great board in the sense that every character had some stuff in their starting region, but the regions where the characters started are very far away from each other. So that's sort of interesting. So it's just a weird thing to, the board. Everything looks close, but it's not super close. For walkers, for folks like our Witch King, everything can be tight with the fly. So let's consider we're just going to head up there. 1, 2, 3, 4, but let's hide once, and let's end up in Borderlands 2. So hide, move, 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 Borderlands 2. Let's head toward the mountain. For the Witch King, we want to go 1, 2, 3. We're going to drop off the Shaman, and we will. Do we need? And we'll move to 4, Pinewoods 2. So there you go. So we're going to move to the camp. Move Pinewoods 2. Score Lost Shaman. That's the plan. Okay. And then the dwarf. I mean, do we play pressure luck a little bit? We've got at least 1 treasure, and that treasure we could certainly sell. And with that treasure and 15 gold, we have $28. With $28, you could go back, although it's a little bit of a haul, and hire the guard. And the reason you would hire the guard's $12 to hire. You'd be hoping for a ×2 at that point. That's not great. If you hire the guard, then you can follow the guard HQ around, and you get 4 turns. When you're in the caves, he follows you around. So it's actually a good little symbiosis there. I'm going to do 1. This is terrible because that snake fight is shitty, but let's do it. The hell. I think we have day 9s for everybody written. So let's put this one in the books there by rolling this monster roll, and it is a 4 again. So, super quiet these first couple days. Because all the trolls are dead. we gutted the trolls in the first week. The White Knight is first. So the Knight, he's going to hide. He fails. I don't think it matters, but he does fail. And he's going to loot that Horde 3 times. So the first roll is a 3. So the Horde has 9 treasures in it. He picks up the third one. It is the golden icon. Well, that's interesting, and I'll tell you why. The problem with the golden icon is that it immediately means you cannot use any of this. You can use these 3 chits. All of a sudden, you go from having 11 fight chits to 3 fight chits. You become slow. How the hell do you get out of here? So there's the soldiers. Do you care about the soldiers much? You can neutral. You could sell there. So your goal would be to try to just get out of Dodge at that point. Like that would be your $100 done. You could maybe run back to the order if you wanted and hire a couple folks. Not worth its weight in gold. It is. I mean, how are you, Broken Rolex? I see your name is gold on my chat window here, so it's very appropriate. I mean, this thing's great. It's just terrible. Yeah. Whereas he can carry all heavies because of his move chits right here. He can carry heavy and tremendous. The problem is once you carry tremendous stuff, you can only use the chits that are tremendous. Well, I shouldn't say that. He can use any of these chits, so that's not exactly true. He can still fight with this because this is a heavy weapon. It's these that he loses, these moves. And the problem with the White Knight is he's a slow. I always picture him as an old guy under like a giant knight helmet or whatever, and he pulls it up and it's all gray. He really relies on this H4 chit to not get beat up every fight. And and he can't play that as long as he has this, he can't play that. He has to drop it to play this. So at the Barnway, that doesn't sound like my idea of a great night, but you guys obviously have a more active lifestyle than I do. So that's good for you, and I hope your wife's having a good time, and I hope that you're having a good time. So this golden icon's a little bit like if it wasn't 100 gold, it's literally 100 gold. It's the most valuable treasure in the game. I would just instantly drop it and then not even worry about it. The nice thing is that we know that nothing's going to jump us today because of the monster rolls of 4, which all these monsters have been exhausted the previous week. So I'm safe holding it today. And then I have to figure out sort of how to get it back to civilization. So that's my first loot. I get 2 more. My second loot roll is a 6. So we're going to draw the 6th card from the Horde. It is the Alchemist Mixture, which is just a throwing weapon. It's a one-time potion which blows up. A great potion. The White Knight, that's not his gig. So it's there. That's great, but I'm not super worried about it. Let's take our third loot roll here and see what it is. It is the 4th treasure in the deck. Hover over the deck there. Hit the 4 button. Oh, the Enchanted Meadow. Return. Hold on, let me read this bad boy. Return face up to the bottom of the pile it was drawn from, and then follow the instructions on the setup chart. So, let's look at the instructions on the setup chart. So, largely comes down to, so we found the meadow. You'll see here we have the pony, we have the True Steel Sword, which is a nice weapon. It's an interesting weapon. It's not great for the White Knight. There's a lot of characters this would be a great weapon for, but the White Knight is not one of them. And the reason is it doesn't have any times on it. So it relies on his times of his chits specifically to go, and his chits are all 4s and 5s and 6s. So in other words, what we're looking for with characters like the Knight, the heavies, typically we're looking for this. We're looking for an H3. or something of that nature too, to get us some auto hits on the big things that we would be likely to fight. So Enchanted Meadow is underneath the Horde. So I usually just do this and put it. Oh, come on, baby. There we go, like that, just to give me a reminder there's something there. And the White Knight has found the Enchanted Meadow because he was the one to turn the card over. Everybody else has to search for it, but he's found it. Unfortunately, it does not give him a third treasure, and he is done for the day. Nothing appears because this roar no longer has giants to pull, so he's done. Black Knight. The Black Knight is hiding and moving up to Borderlands 2. So let's roll the hide for the Black Knight, and then up to Borderlands 2. And he gets up there, and again, nothing's going to come today. Witch King is going 1, 2, 3. He does drop the shaman off, and everybody's living at this campfire. So it's sort of a weird, like a weird gypsy tent, gypsy tents, gypsy camp or something, because all the visitors are at this place, and then he moves out here. But what that does do is we're going to score Lost Shaman. So he actually scores that by bringing the shaman back. And he is neutral with the shaman. He's now friendly with the shaman. So that's cool. So and troll guts for the that's interesting. So let's see. Visitor. So he has troll guts, and he just met with a bunch of visitors. So let's see what the troll guts get him if he brings it back to a visitor. He has Troll's Blood, which is 6 phases of rest instantly. Discard to Crone. So he has Troll Blood Potion. I really should make these cards, actually. 6 phases rest. Discard. I don't discard any of it since we don't have a card. I have it in there to discard it to Crone, but that would be if I made the cards. Since I haven't, heck with it. So 6 phases of rest. That is useful, and it's not going to change the game for the Witch King, but it is useful. We still really could use to do the Borderland, but that'll be for a slightly later day. So the Lost Shaman has been resolved. So we can erase it from here. And it's the dwarf's turn, and the dwarf is taking his one more shot at the vault here. So he gets a 2, so he starts hidden, which is good, which means he avoids the serpents. He gets 2 loot rolls, and I think I want that devil sword so bad. But I do fear the curse. Like if the chapel was like right here or something, I would consider it, but I think we're just going to loot the vault. So first loot roll of 2 is a 1. That would have got us the damn sword again. Would have been great. Curse You Magic Realm. This game has a way of doing this. Absolutely doing this too. That's a win. Blasted Jewel. So it has a spell. So that's interesting because I think the dwarf has ancient scrolls, which means he can bring any treasure with a spell to a visitor and score. Now, the one thing that is true is he might not want to do that. This is a great treasure. And, I mean, it's a great treasure, so it's going to score him 2 points just by keeping it. I mean, assuming no one else has a great treasure, which right now only the White Knight has one, and he can barely carry it, so... So the question is, do we risk the curse? The chance of us rolling a 1 or a 2 again is pretty darn slim. If I roll a 3, I can instantly teleport. A 4 is just garbage, appear in any hex, which is fine. 5 and 6 are the death rolls. 5's rough. 6 is crappy too. I think we're just gonna roll and loot the vault, and we got a 3, which is nothing because there's only 2 treasures left in the vault. So okay, I mean we did get some stuff out of there. We pulled 2 treasures, neither of which are life changing, but they are useful for us, and we survived actually, which that could have been in doubt. So let's take a look at day 10 here. There's still lots of stuff left in the hole. On the other hand, we do have, I mean, right now, if we wanted to, we could. I mean, it's not like, so we're not racing anyone for the hold. You know what I mean? So there's not 1,000 characters clamoring up. In fact, pretty much everyone is spread out except these 2 since they started. Like everybody is where they started, pretty much. The White Knight started up here. This is sort of his region. The Witch King started here along with the Black Knight. The dwarf started down here. And because of the way the map is, it's sort of stuck like that. So what I'm wondering is, since the White Knight's not feeling any pressure from other players here, does he take his thing? He hides twice, goes here. That's a day, and then the next day try to run back to the order, sell his stuff, the icon. So carrying the icon is really a non-starter, I think. He can carry it, but not the rest of the game, not 3 weeks. Like if this was day 26 or something, then yeah, you hold that thing to get your points. But with 100 gold, he can win the gold game, so that scores him 2 points for gold. And then he has some extra spending money. I mean, he's not going to spend all that 100, and even that. So he could hire 1 or 2 of the knights and then have his way with these bats. Head down to the vault. You know, heck, he could go grab the damned, although he has, again, a rougher chance with the Devil's Sword. But even him. So, are you thinking that's what he does today? I'm thinking that we do not loot again. Instead, we hide twice, and then we move into the bats. So if we fail our hide, we're sort of freaking boned. We're just going to have to, gut it out with the bats. And we'll probably take a bunch of wounds, and it'll probably suck. And there's a small but non-trivial chance of dying. But if we do make it, then we have a sweet run to the order. We sell that gigantic 100 gold piece statue, hire one of our buddies to come back with us, or 2 of our buddies, for crying out loud, to come back with us, beat the crap out of those bats, and then go on like a killing spree. And we can kill these goblins. I mean, we can do all kinds of stuff in there. So I think the knight has his mission, so he's good to go. The Black Knight, still not quite as solid, I don't think. I think that the Black Knight is going to. So, what is Smoke Cave going to bring us? It's going to bring us this dragon, which we can fight. So, I think the Black Knight is going to make a run for it. So, he's going to move directly into BL. What, 6 is it? 6. So, he's just going to make a run because his goal. Oh no, he doesn't want. He wants to go 5. That's right. So 5 because he's trying to get to the map. So BL 5 it is, and normally you would hide, but bam, he goes here. The next day he's into these woods, and then the next day he's up and around here. Hopefully there's a treasure, something here, so then he can go and claim a victory point. But he also has take cover. So if he gets jumped by something he can't fight, he can just pop that card. So I think that's what we're doing. Black Knight's one of my favorite characters in this game, actually, broken. But yes, I do get the Monty Python reference. And hopefully it doesn't end up like that. But he's had a rough game, actually. His quests have not lined up real well with his position and his fighting stuff, etc. So he's been a little lackluster, I think, this game. So we're trying to get him out of this region and trying to see if we can explore up here a little bit. The Witch King. So what's the Witch King doing? So the Witch King has the challenge. So I do think... So the problem with the challenge for the Witch King is you have to be unhidden to fight this guy. This guy has a horse. So any hit we can do against this dude, it's going to hit the horse first, and the bash card will then kill us, because literally the Witch King cannot take any attack. He has no ability to survive even a single attack from the weakest creatures in the game. So that sucks. Having said that, what he does have is lots of mana. And he's allied with the bash cards. So, if you get challenged and it's a friend or an ally, you can talk your way out of it effectively. What is it? So, alternately, if you are friendly or allied with the challenger's group, you can choose to talk your way out of the fight. You cannot be hidden when you do so. Roll on the meeting table. If he rolls a 1 or a 2, it's I love you, man. You settle your differences over drinks and convince the challenger to join you. You score a VP and gain the challenger as a follower. 3 to 5, you calm him down, you score a VP, and then 6, he fights you as normal, in which case we'd have to flee. So I think that would be the strategy, is to try to get that popped. So I do think we're going to do that. And the question is, do we walk there? Because it seems like a lot of days to walk to the order. So I'm looking for possible spots to fly to. The deep woods would be a good place to fly to, because you know you're going to be able to get here. Like, these are always dicey because you have a 1/3 chance of not being able to get to where you want to. Well, actually, this would be a bad hex because you can't get to the chapel, which is here. So I think we would fly here to the deep woods. So we could do that. We could walk there, but that's 1, 2, 3 days, 4 days. That's a 5-day trip. If you fly, it's a random roll to tell you, how many days it is, because you land in any one of these clearings. So what I think we're going to do is we're going to hide. Twice. Just to make sure. And then we're going to fly, and we're going to fly again to the deep woods. And then that's where we'll land. We'll land in the deep woods. So that's his plan. I think the dwarf, it's time for him to get out of dodge. As much as I want to grab at that sword. 2, 3. So let's look. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a 4+ day trip to the order. If we get cursed, it's a 4+ day trip to the order. If we get Power of the Pitted, where's Power of the Pit? We could damage our armor. So these two are good. Like, if I roll a 5 or 6, that's fine. A 4 sucks. A 3 is actually fine. So 3, 5, and 6 is great. A 4 sucks. A 2 and a 1, and we're dead. So we literally ended the dwarf's game with that. So we would have a. Now the dwarf rolls only a single die on this chart because of his dwarvenness, and he rolls a single die when he searches. So he has a 1/3 chance of getting a good thing, a 1/3 chance of getting a neutral thing, a 1/3 chance of getting a sucky thing. And then if he gets the sucky things, well, it just depends on what he rolls. I'll tell you what we're going to do. But then he even has to hide, so even that is a slightly shit chance. Ugh. I'm so, God, I want that sword so bad. But is it worth it? Is it really going to change the dwarf's game? Is this sword... I mean, it does make him a killer of a lot of shit. What's the dwarf has? The dwarf has treasure cache, deep diver. He has ancient scrolls. I mean, you don't get a lot of, game is what it is. You don't get a ton of opportunities. We're going to do it once. One more time. We're going to roll with it. We're going to see what happens. If we get super unlucky, well, that's just, it's day 10, right? Everybody has a day 10. We have a day 10. This is probably bad, probably ruining, right? Day 10. Yeah, okay. So here we go. So let's roll for monsters on day 10. 5 spiders and imps. So that's going to draw some attention up north there, I think, for sure. Let's see what we got. So the dwarf is going to be first. Great. Okay, so the dwarf is hiding. And he does hide. So he is hidden from the snakes. He's going to search. And hell, yeah, he's going to search. He's going to take one shot at this toadstool search. Oh, 6. So he gets a freaking curse. Yep, he gets cursed. Well, you knew that was going to happen. I mean, that's the game. Game is like that. Let's see what we got. 6, disgust. So the target's fame is worthless. So what that means in the quest game is that his notoriety is worthless. So what I do is I note that he got disgust, curse, and what I do here is I put a negative like 999 or negative 99 there just to note. That way it keeps his total. His total's 8. If I come back and erase this, it'll be fine. So he got cursed. There you go, Will. This is it. One more shot, and then 6, cursed again. So there you go. So, and then we'll have to run up to the the order, I suppose. And really, we could hope for a 6 again. No! Oh, God. A 6 was fine. Instead, what happens is he gets Wither, and Wither is horrible. He literally has to fatigue every chit with an asterisk on it. So all these chits immediately go to hell, and he is sort of boned. The dwarf is now boned. This is the second time I've withered the dwarf. Disgust and wither. Woohoo, all right. So yeah, the dwarf can't fight squat. He's going to have to make the run up. And that's it. That's it for him. And it's probably it for him for like a week. So, okay, well, so be it. That's what happens. And sometimes those go super well. That would have been an epic story. In this case, it's an epic suck story. All right, Witch King. So Witch King is going to hide 2 times, I believe we said. So he hides once. He does. He's going to play his fly chit, which I will burn in a moment, and fly here and here. So that's where he ends up. Let me take this fly chit and discard it. I'll just flip it and go up there. And now we put him in a random clearing as he has landed. We put him in clearing 6. So he ends up there. Stink does draw a spider to his clearing. And there you go. That's where our Witch King ends up. The White Knight is hiding 2 times. For good measure, I hope he does, and he goes here. So right there. But because everything is prowling today, both the spider and the imp now appear right behind, right on his heels, chasing him out of the tile. He's hidden, so they don't attack him, so he's good to go. And the Black Knight goes 1, 2, and he is done. And there's nothing there to attack him because no one is prowling. All right, so I'm a little bummed about the dwarf. I feel like I sort of did that to him. I feel responsible for the dwarf. So, yeah. Dwarf's going to go 1, 2, 1 extra hide, 2, and done. So he's going to end up in the Oak Woods. So he's going to move. He's going to use his extra phase to hide. He's going to move into the Oak Woods. And that's it. He will lug his crap until he can get to the chapel to burn this curse off. Going to be a little bit of doing. They do not have to fight. They are opposed. They are opposed in terms of all the groups that they're friends with and stuff. So it is a neutral sort of fight. The Black Knight is sort of a better man killer, and the White Knight is a better monster killer. So the Black Knight sort of has a mercenary vibe to him, whereas the White Knight has sort of a Dragon Slayer vibe to him. So it's sort of a fun contrast. The White Knight, that's a rough fight. It'd be an interesting fight between those two. So let's see, what do we got here? So White Knight, let's see what he's gonna do. So he's here. I think he's gonna go 1, 2, 3, and then he's gonna execute a trade phase, right? So move to the chapel, and then he's gonna execute a trade phase with the order. Obviously, that would be his plan. And then I think my other plan would be, maybe, let me write it just to try to remember, is maybe trading quests. Since a couple of those might be untenable, we'll take a check here. So that's the White Knight. The Black Knight is going to just continue to move here. So he's going to go. Oh, we do have to resolve this. I'm sorry. So this is still day 10 or whatever. Do we care to kill the spider? I mean, we certainly can kill the spider since we are hidden. It is highly unlikely that we're going to. I mean, we might as well, I suppose, since we're here, because it's not going to. It's going to cost us some color, but not much else. So let's do this fight. This is sort of a trivial fight for the hidden Witch King with the spells he has. So what he's going to do is, because no one's on his sheet, so he's hidden. So he is for free here. He's going to cast Drain Life. So that's going to fatigue this and this. And he casts that at a time 2, which is going to. So that guy goes here. Does he flip? It's going to hit him because the time is faster. So it does hit. The time is super fast. So it's a ×2 to his ×3. It's going to hit him and kill him and then rest 3 asterisks. So, and currently I'm playing that and it indeed rests even the asterisks to cast, although I'm not 100% sure. Since ultimately you fatigue them even before the fight ends or whatnot. So I have to think about that in the future. And he scores 3 3 prowess from the spider. But like, yeah, the a lot of that's auto kills. Single monsters right now auto kills, at least in most cases, for our hidden Witch King. So he is done, and that's the end of the day. So now we can do the knight, who's going to run to the chapel and trade quests. The Black Knight is going to, well, a good question. You can move up there. You could get jumped by like wolves or some crap. Does he have anything? He can take cover if he needs to. So he's going to move to Maple Woods too, because if he needs to, he can use take cover, which instantly hides him. The Witch King now is out of black magic, so he really does need to do some crap. So he's going to go 1, 2. And that'll put him into the valley. So move into the valley. Then he's going to, he gets an extra spell X. And then 2 spell phases, and that'll turn, he'll get some black magic going there. That night he can cast Broomstick again, and then that will give him the ability to fly away from this. If he can't convince this raider to hang with him, he can at least get out of dodge. So that's what he's going to do. And our dwarf needs to limp, because I'm a dumbass. Wait a minute, did we? Oh yeah, day 11. We already wrote day 11 for him. He's going to limp out. So we've got day 11 ready to roll. Let's get a monster roll up in here. It's a 4, so trolls. So nothing left. That's pretty funny that these guys have cleared out the trolls and the giants. And it's the Witch King first, and then the dwarf, and then the knights. So Witch King first moves here, and then he's going to enchant. So he flips and flips that with these last 2 enchant phases. So now he has black magic to cast. And he is done. The dwarf is going to move. He's going to hide with his extra phase. He does. And he goes into the oak woods and flips that, and it is ruins, which would be wolves. I don't want to fight wolves. I'm good. So he is done there. The White Knight is going to move. Go to here. And he's going to execute a trade phase with his buds. So he's going to sell to the order. And the order will all happy take that off his hands. Because they're going to put that in their pristine Sistine Chapel. And so he gets $100. So that's crazy good. Oh, and hell, I hate to say it, he's going to sell this too. So he gets $104 just to add insult to injury to the rest of the players. He's like, yeah, dude. Oh, I put it in the guard. Did I put that in the guard? No, I put it in the order. There you go. Done. Okay. So the White Knight is done. And then the Black Knight just moves and moves, barreling up, and it's the small campfire. And that goes here, because it goes in the highest numbered clearing. And no one appears there, because we have to be there to look. So we are done with the day. No one's fighting today. So, good question. So let's think a little bit about our goals here. So our goals, still locate the vault, Explore the crag. I think we are going to drop explore the crag. Right? I think it's just we're not going to do it. It's too many days. We're just not going to make it. So we're going to burn that one tonight. I think we'll keep. And I think, do we burn? So if the Lost City's here, it's going to suck. If the Lost City's here, it's a little better. I think we're going to burn the treasure cache too. So we are turning in requests, getting a bunch of new ones. Lucky Day, so we get a reroll, and then Spider Slayer. So maybe better. So Spider Slayer is definitely better, though a lot of spiders are dead already. And he gets Lucky Day, which is a reroll. And I think for day 12, I think his goal is to hire. So we have traded with the order before, and I'm not gonna. I don't rely on my memory. Map of the Ruins and a Magic Spectacles, not super useful. Oh, the Magic Spectacles actually are super useful. Extra search phase, hard to beat that actually. So I think what we're gonna do is, I think we're gonna execute one trade phase with our guys here again, and then we're going to execute 3 hire phases. And we don't want to hire 3 dudes, but we wouldn't mind hiring 2, for instance. If we hired 2, then spaces like the 2 bats, although now you have 2 bats and a spider, but this space becomes tenable all of a sudden. So maybe you do hire 3. $24. You're probably not going to get $24. You're probably going to get a crappier price than that. But so maybe you hire 2 guys for $30 to $40 in that range somewhere. Still have $50 left over. You have this whole crew of knights. And then you just go beat the crap out of spaces like this and control the board. Or, and the spectacles don't suck, but maybe do you do 4 higher phases, just not to get 4 of them, but just to, because you still need to roll, since he's friendly with the knights, you ideally still want to roll, each costs 8. You'd still like to get here. Still like to get $16 per, as opposed to $24 per or $32 per. That's not going to do you any good. So let's not worry about the spectacles, and let's just see if we can hire, say, 2 knights. Let's see how it goes. So that's his day. 2. The Black Knight's going to hide twice and then move into the mountains. Oops, come on, there we go. So he's going to hide twice and move and then move to mountain 2. And he is done. Our Witch King is indeed prepared to walk in. Now he should be careful, right? Because the order and him don't get along so good. So we are going to we're gonna hide 3 times, I think. Just gonna hide and oh, at the end of the day, I'm sorry. So the end of the day, we are going to cast Broomstick again to get this chit in play. So, and then on the next day, day 12, we're going to hide 3 times and then move into the chapel and hope to, not be killed by the order. That's why we're hiding 3 times. We're going to talk to our Lancer buddy, see if he wants to go get drinks and hang out and chat. And then the dwarf is, well, like the dwarf was before. So now we're all converging on the chapel, which is sort of funny. We're going to hide twice and move into the bats here. So dwarf, hide twice, move, and move into bats. And done. And I think that's it. That's it for day 12's right pre-writing. Let's roll the dice. 3 ogres, wolves, goblins, and octopus. So interesting. Let's see who's going to go today. Black Knight's going to go first. We do hide 2 times today. Just trying to, we're going to save that take cover. It's ruins, so that's bats and howl 4. Not great. Not great. We were actually hoping. So howl, this is caves. So howl caves. I don't think anything appears. I think we're good. So we were hoping for a treasure site because then we would loot it, we would turn it in. So now I think we return then to the statue. Would be where the Black Knight would go to try to get a treasure out of here to bring it to the soldiers. Witch King hiding 3 times. He fails once. He succeeds the second time. He walks into here. And he is done for now. We'll resolve his meeting with his Lancer friend here at the end. The White Knight is hiring all day. He is in negotiations with the Order to give him some young stalwart knights to go fight evil and, whatevs. So anyway, he does get a -1 on these rolls. He has 4 of them. So that's a 4. Price times 3. He could pay $24 to get the first knight. I think I'm gonna hold off and go for a slightly lower price. Yeah. We have 4 of these. We have 3 more. 4. Price times 3. I think we're gonna take that. So that's gonna be -24. I don't love this. I don't want to give up too much gold. So that's 1 knight. That's my second roll. I have 2 more rolls. Third roll, 4. Okay, that's a 3. So price times 2. That's good. So we add 16 to that. It's -40. I will roll the last height just to see what I get. And that's also price times 2. So another $16 would get us 3 knights. Right? 32. I'm sorry, not 32. It's 24 and 16 and 16. Or we can just hold off and have the 2 knights. I think 2 knights is enough. We will call that a no deal, and we will just move on with 2 knights. And the reason is because then I think we can pretty much get them, even if we don't find any other treasures, we can have them through the rest of the game, pretty much. Like, this might carry us, because we can probably hire those guys again for a similar cost. So add 16 to this, or add 14 to this day 20. Maybe we don't care. You know what? Oh, good point. You know what? Let's hire the last guy then, because they're going to last us up to day 26. So if we add another 16 to this, it's 56. And we still have $52. That's still probably, I'm going to say, wins us gold so far. Maybe it doesn't. But I'm going to say that this, having an army of Inquisitor Knights to smite my goddamn foes everywhere is going to be a huge deal for us. So there you go. And we're done. And the dwarf hides 2 times. So he has to roll 2 dice now because he's outside. He does. And he sneaks into here. and nothing appears because that's a mountain, and goblins don't appear in the mountains. They only appear in the caves. And we are done with that day. That was a fun day for the White Knight. So now it really just comes down to, well, what the heck are we doing? And I think I know what we're doing. I think I have the plan. I think we're just going to go 1, 2, 3. I think we're marching right up in there with our crew. 1, 2, 3, 4, because this is a mountain clearing, right? So yeah, I mean, you got to be at least a little careful because you could get a flutter. You could get 3 more bats. So maybe we don't go off half cocked. So, do we have any other thing to take care of today? Or are we good? I think everyone is good. So let's figure out our strategy for the night here. 1, 2, 3, 4. We could literally march up in and be perfectly fine with the caveat that if it's bats again or dragons, then we have a rougher time. So I think what we're gonna do is I do. I just want to. I want to go up in there. I just want to smack them. Let's not do that. Let's do 1, 2, and we know it's going to cost us 2 phases to go up in there. Let's just go hide, and then we'll move, into the deep woods. What is the clearing? Deep woods 1. And it's a little conservative, seeing that we just hired all the knights. But let's do that. Let's be conservative for the time being, just in case. And we can clear this out, no problem. We'll get Spider Slayer out of that. We can go locate the vault after that. So we can just, so now the knight just goes and does his thing, and hopefully this carries him through to victory. I think our knight here goes 1, 2, 3. He's going to hide once and move into the statue. And that's what he's going to try to loot from. The Witch King. Oh, the Witch King has to do his thing. So the Witch King. So this is still the end of the day here. So we are going to take our challenge. And we could kill him, but it's not easy for our guy. So what we're going to do is we are going to talk him down. Because he's an ally, his group is allied with us, we do get to roll. So we are unhidden to fight him. So this is combat. So we don't roll for the knights, we're hidden, but then we fight him. But we're going to talk him down. We roll 2 dice. If it's not a 6, it's good. 4. So we calm him down. We're going to earn the victory point. He doesn't join us, but we earn the victory point by talking our way out of the fight. So that's cool. And that's going to score us challenge. And that gives us another point on our sheet. So that's good. And we can turn that in. And then tomorrow, we're going to draw guide. During a search, you find paths and passages without rolling, which is great for the Witch King because he has a hell of a time with his ghost sight finding any of that crap. The only thing that I would consider doing I'm actually, and I will do this. So the next day, we'll hold on. So let's do this in order. So he's going to move into Deep Woods 1. He's going to move to the statue. Now it's day 13. I'm going to do 1 higher phase to hire the Elven Pathfinder. It's going to cost me $6. And then we can use all of the green paths, these ones. Not the dark ones, not the passages, but the paths, and we can do it for free. And because the Witch King has such a hell of a time doing that, it's going to be worth the $6, and we get him for the rest of the game. So we're going to hire, and we're going to do all, so that's going to get us a little bit of mobility that we don't otherwise have. Hire. We're going to hire. And what do we got? Explore Borderlands, Guide, Snake Charmer. Yeah, sure. So we could still use to hit Borderlands 5 up. So 1, 2, 3. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4. But instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the hire. I'm going to do a hide phase, and I'm going to move and then move again into the Deep Woods, and I think I'll get to Deep Woods 6, I believe. 1, 2, no, Deep Woods 1. Deep Woods 1, and we are done. And we're going to try to move. We're going to try to finish this game Borderlands off. It's taken 2 weeks. I mean, we've scored in the interim, so it's not like we're doing nothing. But I do think it's funny. All right. Dwarf. 1, 2, and hide. Move and move. And hide and hide. We're going to limp. So 1, 2, we move to Deep Woods 6. Okay, and that is the day. That's day 13. So not bad. It's day 13. We do need a monster roll up. We got a 5, so spiders and imps. And White Knight is first. So we're taking the slow conservative walk. So we're going to end up here. Are we hidden or not? We got 2 hides, essentially. We fail 1. We succeed on the second one. Does this stink actually get us anything? I don't think so, right? They're all gone. It's literally only the cairns draws spiders at this point. So we are done. The Black Knight goes, he's in the statue, but he has to hide. So he is going to hide first. He has a single hide, which he does. But he is interesting because he actually draws these 2. Which sort of pisses the Knight off, the White Knight off, because he was hoping to kill that thing. But it's shitty for the Black Knight a little bit, because he would rather not face the imp, let alone the imp and the spider. He could kill the spider, and he can certainly kill the imp. It's just it is a little dicey, and he can get cursed. And who the hell wants to be cursed? Okay, Witch King. Witch King does a higher phase. He gets the Elf Pathfinder sort of automatically. I'm just going to put him on his thing to show and go 1, 2, 3. Is that where he ended up? Did he just walk? No, he hid once. So let's hide him once. So he hides, and he ends up with our buddy. He ends up right there with the White Knight, and the dwarf goes 1, 2, and then he hides 2 times, and he does. And so we've all converged here. It's sort of funny, actually. And I don't think anything happens. Oh, the Black Knight has to make a decision as to what he would like to do here. So the Black Knight can almost certainly kill this guy. And if he was alone, he would just jump it and fight it. This guy is dicey, because this guy can curse the Black Knight. And so we could be in a position, the same position the damn dwarf is in, where all of our asterisks are burned, and we have to limp to the chapel. On the other hand, we were really counting on getting a treasure out of this damn spot. So That's a little pissy. So the other thing we could do is make our way to the horde. It's not super fast. We could hide and try to find the statue. Um, so we'll have to think about that. In the meantime, let's see what the team is doing here. On day 14, what is the team doing? So I do think the White Knight is going to hide twice and roll up into the bats with his frickin' army. That's his goal. So we're going to roll up into the bats today. The Black Knight. I don't love fooling with this, and the reason is this: not that not that if this might be worse. So he has a take pop card. So if he fails, he can still just pop the card and be done. In fact, he can play during a search phase to immediately find that thing. So again, except the statue has only 3 treasures in it. So even looting it is rough. So he might be just as well to go here and try to find a way to climb up to the horde. Excuse me. So this might be a bad decision, but we're going to do it. So we're going to move to 3. Or, okay, stop. Okay, so maybe that night. So let's hold on. So let's think about this. I think you know what? I think he's going to take the fight. Let's do that. Let's take the fight that night. So this is night. What night is this? This is the night of the 13th. Let's actually fight on the night of the 13th. And the reason we're going to fight is because we have these guys. So he's going to lure him. And he's going to lure him. And we're just going to do... So he's going to hit him probably with a curse. Almost certain. And he might hit him with light damage, but light damage is not going to do anything to the Swordsman Rogue. So that means without anyone on our sheet, we can play this to alert. We can pull heavy damage here and then go right like that. And if he flips, we're gonna kill him. So I think this is a no-brainer fight. And if so, then sitting in the statue is not as bad a deal since we don't have all these guys. And frankly, I hate to say it, you're stealing points away from the White Knight because he has Spider Slayer. So let's do this. So let's see where this guy goes. 3. So he goes here. Let's see if he flips. He doesn't. We'll worry about what that means in a moment. Where does the imp go? The imp stays right there. Does the imp flip? No. Okay. So let's see what happens. So here we have the longest weapon is this guy. He misses. Second longest weapon is this one that hits. So it connects, does heavy damage. The spider is dead. Down here, the imp goes first. He has the longest weapon. He hits. And so we have to roll a curse. But we have to roll a curse on an NPC. We barely care. 5 ashes. The target's gold cannot be recorded. No one cares. This guy doesn't get gold. and he kills this dude. So done and done. So we get 3 and 4, 7 points. So we're going to score 7 prowess for that, and these two guys are dead. So there you go. So that's the play for the knight, and that's the better play for sure. And now that we know that, now my suggestion would be we're gonna. So do we get ballsy, knowing that's so there's a couple things that could happen. Of course, you could get dragons. That would be a lot of heat, especially since there's a bunch of dudes down here that might be coming up into here. So we will hide first, just to make sure. But we have take cover. So you know what? We're not going to hide. We're going to hide and use insight to find that instantly. Then we're going to search, and really hope to loot. I mean, sure. I don't know. Maybe the statue's not worth that outlay of cards, but let's try it anyway. Excuse me. So we know what he's going to do. We got him. What is the Witch King going to do? The Witch King is going to try to. So he's going to go 1, 2, 3, and hide. Right there. Poised to finish his quest. So he's going to hide and then go 1, 1, and move. And he will end up. And oops, he will end up in Deep Woods 2. And our dwarf is going to go 1, 2, and he ends up in the Awful Valley 2. Almost, but not quite to the order. Okay, so it's day 14. So we're going to roll 2 dice. 1 die is to prowl and regenerate. This die is simply to regenerate. So let's roll our die on day 14. 1. So dragons are prowling and regenerating. And who is just regenerating? 4. Ooh, giants and trolls. Holy crap. Well, that certainly changes a lot of shit, because that brings a lot of creatures back on the board that were otherwise not on the board. So, but dragons are prowling today. Which makes these specifically interesting. Hexes, I suppose. Let's see. White Knight. Let's go with the White Knight first. I think he hides twice and heads into the bats, right? He fails once, of course, and succeeds the second time, walks up here, and then all hell breaks loose. So we have cave smoke in the caves, but that's not true. Smoke in the mountains is going to bring 2 flyers to him, as would Flutter anyway, so it doesn't matter. And then here we get a roar. Cave, no. Slither, no. But the Horde brings this notorious dude to there. So, big deal. Big deal. That is a different fight entirely, but we do have it well in hand, I would say. The dwarf just goes there, and he's done. We do hide, right? Nope, we just search. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. So we use insight. Bam, done. So we find the statue right now with our first search. So let's mark it off the Black Knight sheet. He has the statue found. Let's roll our 3 loots, and we're looking for a 1, 2, or 3 on these. So 4, I'm not going to cut it. So I think you have, yeah, these. So we have 3. So that's 1. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Help me out. 2. Nope. 1. If this was wasted, it's totally wasted. Okay, well, that's the luck of Magic Realm. And now every prowling dragon shows up in the Black Knight's hex. Um, okay. Interesting. Not ideal. And he does draw ancient scrolls instead of sudden insight. It is the Witch King's turn, and the Witch King is going to go 1, 2, 3. I think he hides once. 4, and he is hidden, and he is done. Let's do this fight first, and then we'll see what the other knight wants to do. So this is the easier of the 2 fights for certain. We now have buddies, so let's actually hold on. Let's move some stuff around. All right, so we have sheets for all these guys. This is a trivial, sort of a trivial fight. We're going to deploy. We're going to lure with him. We're going to lure him to here. We are going to let this guy come to me, and then we're going to deploy our 2 knights on the bat. This guy will be the defender, and this guy will be an attacker, like that. Now that we don't, it doesn't really matter since we can't auto hit the bats no matter what, but we will go. It doesn't matter. Let's go just here and just increase our chance to cap this bat. So the thing about the bats and the Knights of the Order is they can't kill them. The bats can't get through the armor on the damn horses, for crying out loud. Oh, and the other thing is, so I should do this. This is a little bit of a goof thing here, but I do hate the fact that, oops, okay, well, hold on. I don't love the fact that that this is wrong. Their vulnerability is wrong. So I usually put an H on there. It's a little bit dicey, but I usually do it like that by attaching. And yeah, don't get me wrong, it's a little bit of a process there. And we will do that to all the knights here in turn. The horses are tremendous, by the way. The funny part is they're different enough that, so let me paste and paste again. So they are different. Let me quickly fix this just so I don't go nuts every time I see it. It's him done. And then our last guy, paste and paste. Drop, drop-ish, good enough. Move it. Go flip that bad boy. And oh, okay. Yeah, there we go. Good enough. I mean, it works-ish. It's not, sorry you had to sit through that, but hey, it is what it is. Okay, so now I know they're heavy. Remember they're heavy. Yay. Okay. So let's do these fights. So this bat ends up right here. Do we flip? I don't even care what I'm playing on there. These bats are going to hit these guys every time, and they do. In this case, this weapon goes first and kills this bat, and we're done. Second bat. 5. So he goes. Oh, well, darn it. That is not what I wanted. Now I need to fix the size of this. Oh my god. Good enough. Okay. So now, we rolled a 5, so he goes down to here. And does he flip? It barely matters, but let's check anyway. He does, so the bat flips over. Now, each of these guys has to figure that out, too. He's going to go in one of these 3 slots. He goes in the middle, along with his horse, actually. And this guy goes in the middle, along with his horse. So this bat's going to get gang tackled by these 2 dudes. Does this guy flip? He does not. Does the second guy flip? He does. We flip him, and he's killed. And that's the second bat death of the evening. That is worth 9 total prowess. So there you go. And that's the power of the knights. They make a lot of things trivial. They trivialize many battles for their employers. So, that's that. Now, the Black Knight has to make a call, and the call would be we can't run from the Tremendous Dragon, so I think we don't do Jack. If it was just the heavies, we could, because the White Knight can kill, the Black Knight can kill the heavy dragons. He can't kill a Tremendous Dragon, neither can the rogues. And we can't run from those guys. So that Tremendous would kill a rogue a turn, pretty much. and then bash the Knight pretty much to death. So I think we're gonna let these guys be. That is unfortunate because that is a little bit of a waste of the statue. So we're gonna have to figure out how to manage that. So let's check. It's the end of the week. I'm gonna check the score. So let's check the scores first. So let's check our scores. So the scores at the end of the week 1 were 3, 3, 1, and 1, as you can see here. So let's check again everyone's categories. So the White Knight still only has 1 card. So I'm going to switch. I mean, if you see motion back here, it's literally just me going to check their cards. The Black Knight has scored 1 because he scored Gamble. Let me write that. Score Gambler. So he's got a point there. The Witch King. The Witch King is sort of our dark horse. He has 3 points in cards right now. And the Dwarf still has a single point in cards. So let's save that. Oops, let's save that. And now let's, oops. S was, but not ideal. So let's check now prowess totals. And we have 25 to 20 to 14 to negative. The 25 and 20 is White Knight, Black Knight. So that looks like that hasn't moved. The White Knight and the Black Knight are duking it out for first and second place. So that's the same. Gold, however, has changed hands, and gold looks like, and we did not write our higher, so that's -6. So we need to make sure that we capture that. Gold looks like the white knight has taken the gold from the dwarf. And the white knight is winning gold. So he takes a point from the dwarf. And then great treasures. So this is where, so great treasures, I think the only person that has one is the dwarf. So he gets 2 points there. So let's take a look at how the scores play out. So the white knight has 5, so we'll update his sum. The black knight has scored 2, the witch king 3, and the dwarf 4. So yeah, even though the dwarf is limping back and has spent the better part of a week limping back to the chapel, and the white knight took over his gold points, he did it at the expense of the great treasure. So theoretically, the white knight would have been better off keeping the icon, except he couldn't carry it. So this is a no-brainer for him. So that's the end of our second week. That was a actually an amazingly eventful week. If you're on stream with me, hang out for a little bit, and I will start up in a minute. If you're watching this on, what's up, Lewis? How are you, man? And if you're watching on video, I'm gonna stop here and take a break and get something in my throat, and I'll be back in 2 minutes.